So, hello, good morning to everyone. Just confirm me once that my voice is audible and this PDF file is visible to you so that we can start our discussion on this important subject, on this important topic. Just confirm me once that my voice is audible. Okay. So, today, this session is especially designed for the GST officers and their staff, and we are going to discuss something important about input reconciliations and the importance of section number 16, subsection 2 of the GST Act. Okay. So, this is a short session, and we are going to discuss something important, something very much important from this input reconciliation perspective. Okay. So, before moving ahead, I just want to inform you that this session should be interactive. Okay, if you have any question, then we have this chat box on this YouTube platform. You just need to raise your questions on this chat box. We'll take your question immediately. Okay, we are not going to wait for the last moment. Also, the mode of communication will be Hindi and English both. We are going to use English language more. Okay, certain examples will be in Hindi, will convert the same into English. There is no problem with that. Okay, and also one more important thing which I want to share with you, if possible for you, then just take one paper and pen with you, so that if you found any important point, any specific point, in that case you may prepare the notes of that specific point and you can use the same while handling the cases. Okay, one more request from my side, that this webinar, this session is very much important. So share this webinar with other GST officers and staff so that they can use this particular type of webinar in their day-to-day GST cases handling. Okay, now let's start our discussion on this section number 16, subsection 2. Sir, when you are starting the GST audit, at the time of initial stage of GST audit, if somebody who is tax professionals, or they are watching this particular video, then most probably this video will be helpful for them as well. Okay, because we are going to discuss multiple things. अगर हम लोग उसको पहले से ही क्योर कर लेंगे, in that case at the time of departmental audit, at the time of business audit, there will be a situation, in that case we can handle that audit very easily. So this webinar is especially designed for the GST officers and staff, but others can also watch and gain the knowledge related to the section and related to the reconciliations. Many time when we are starting the business audit or departmental audit, when the departmental authority is going to initiate that business audit or departmental audit, at that moment they are first going to demand the balance sheet. Is that okay? They are first going to demand the balance sheet. They are going to demand the various annexures of profit and loss account. They are also going to demand certain documents related to the income ledger, expenditure ledger. They are going to demand the analysis of creditors, age wise creditors. Okay, they are also going to demand the ledger of the creditors and the debtors. They are also going to demand the purchase register, sales registers. all those things are there, departmental authority is going to demand while doing the audit. Okay, but the first document is your audit report. Now सर ये तो हम लोग लेते हैं, इज दैट ओके? नाउ व्हाट इज द इंपॉर्टेंस ऑफ दिस इनपुट रिकंसिलिएशंस इन आवर जीएसटी ऑडिट? एंड ऑल्सो वन मोर इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग इज दैट at the end of session I am going to discuss about a very specific tool for the input reconciliations as well. Okay, now just start our discussion on this particular topic. You also demanding the GSTR to be written from books. Okay, GST authorities are also demanding the GSTR to be written from the books, and they are going to cross verify the same from the GSTN common portal. उसके बावजूद भी I am going to share with you certain things which we are going to skip during that audit process, and these things are very much important because when we are doing the audit or when you all are handling the particular departmental audit, at that time your focus will be on input tax credit, your focus will be on valuation, your focus will be on eligibility. Okay, that is supply. These three things are there on which you are going to focus more and more while doing the audit. I am right? Okay, if you found any issue और अगर आपको लगता है कि कुछ चीज वैसी नहीं है, in that case you may comment in the chat box. But our more focus while doing that audit is on input, valuation and the eligibility and supply. All those things are there which we are going to do more emphasis. Sir, कभी आपने सोचा है there is a importance of time of supply, there is a importance of place of supply? Okay, there is a importance of other reversal related part, that is 42, 43, 38, various reversals are there. There is certain important part which is related to input service distributor, but the most important thing is your time of supply and place of supply, or you can find out maximum amount of revenue leakages, maximum amount of default at the end of compliances through this time of supply and the place of supply only. That is what is the thing I want to share with you. Okay, I will share with you with the example that what is the importance of this time of supply in your day-to-day handling of the audit. Okay, now let's first start our discussion on this section number 16 subsection 2. Section number 16 subsection 2 को पढ़ने से पहले we are going to discuss this section number 16 subsection 1. And as per section number 16 subsection 1, as per section number 16 subsection 1, if you want to claim the input tax credit for a particular goods or services, in that case there is only one condition, which is that you should use that particular goods or services in the course or furtherance of business. You should use that goods or services in the course or furtherance of business. So whenever you are going to consume any goods or services in the course or furtherance of business, in that case you will be eligible to claim the input tax credit. That is what is the point, which is section number 16 subsection 1 of CGST Act. So this is very simplified language. There is nothing. If someone is going to use that input tax credit in the course or furtherance of business, this input will be allowed. Suppose I have bought the AC for my business, in that case input should be allowed. If I had bought certain material for my particular business process, input should be allowed. Now, most important section is section number 16 subsection 2. And section number 16 subsection 2 says, कुछ भी लिखा हो section number 16 subsection 1 में, whatever is there in section number 16 subsection 1, the taxpayer will be eligible to claim the input tax credit only and only after the satisfaction of section number 16 subsection. That means although you are going to use that particular goods and services for your business, but the same is not satisfied the condition of section 16 subsection 2, in that case you will not be eligible to take the input tax credit. As a departmental authority, when you are handling that business audit or departmental audit, at that time this is your responsibility to check the eligibility of input tax credit from the reference of sections. Many time departmental authorities are just doing the reconciliation. They are just going to check the purchase register, and from the name of the parties they are going to decide the eligibility and ineligibility. Okay, they are just going to check the audit report, they are going to check the profit and loss account from the RCM applicability and from the income. But as per my suggestion, as per my opinion, if you are going to focus on the time of supply and place of supply, in that case you can find out multiple revenue leakages, multiple compliance failures. Okay, so from that perspective we just need to look on this particular time of supply and the place of supply as well. Okay, now what are the conditions in this section number 16 subsection 2? Because when you are going to check the eligibility of input tax credit, in that case you need to refer the section number 16 subsection 2, and as per this section number 16 subsection 2, the first condition to claim the input tax credit is you have the invoice or bill of entry or debit note. These type of documents which is required to claim the input tax credit. Now point is that when you will reconcile your GSTR 2B and books, this is the important task. Whenever you are going to conduct the audit, this is my suggestion to you, just initiate your audit from two documents. One is the audit report, another is the reconciliation of GSTR 2B and GSTR books. Okay, to be generated from books. Two things are important. One is audited financials and another is your GSTR 2B versus books. Why I am saying this? Not only from the perspective of eligibility of input tax credit, from this particular thing, from the analysis of reconciliation of GSTR 2B and books, you can easily check the internal control of that particular business entity. Because business audit merely doesn't means that you just need to find out the revenue leakages and you just need to check the compliance failure. There is also one important thing which you need to do during the business audit, is to check the, to satisfy yourself about the internal control of that business. And if you are going to analyze that audit report and GSTR 2B and books in a very corrective way, in that case you can easily check the internal control, and based on your analysis of these two items you can easily demand further documents, you can easily do the next steps. Okay, so in this particular webinar we are going to discuss on this 2B and books ka reconciliations, and we are also going to discuss on one AI tool. Okay, not IT tool, we are going to discuss on one AI tool, so that you can easily make your analysis easy. Now the first thing which is required to claim the input tax credit is your invoice, bill of entry and debit note. कई बार क्या होता है, suppose, just suppose, if that, if you are going to reconcile that GSTR 2B and books and you are going to demand the reconciliation from the client, in that case client will provide you the reconciliation, and you are also going to check the mismatch of invoices, that this invoice is not available in the GSTR 2B. Am I right? Our more and more focus is on, we are just going to check the invoices which is not in GSTR 2B, and we are saying that this input is not allowed it. That is what is the thing which we are going to do. Just confirm me once that we are going to more focus on this while doing the reconciliations, that we are just going to check that this input is not available in 2B, hence this is not allowed it. Am I right? Just comment in the chat box on fastest basis. Yes, I am expecting reply from each and everyone. Now the point is that, now the point is that कभी आप लोगों ने चेक किया है, जो इन, जो इनवॉइसेस, द इनवॉइसेस विच इज अवेलेबल इन माय टू बी, विच आर करेक्ट और नॉट, the invoice date is correct or not, the invoice number is correct or not, the invoice value is correct or not. All these things are very much important, and the most important thing is your invoice date, your invoice number. These are also very much important, but we are not going to make the focus on these particular things, because the very basic purpose of the business audit or the departmental audit is to make certain rectifications in the books of accounts or in the financials of that particular entity. Or there is also one message with this business audit, that you need not to repeat these type of mistakes in future. That is what is the basic purpose of this business audit or of this departmental audit. Suppose the very basic condition of section number 16 subsection 2 is that you have the invoice number, bill of entry, debit note, and the definition of the invoice number mandatorily says that you just need to have the invoice number in a correct way. और अगर वहां पर invoice number wrong है, in that case your invoice should not be treated as the perfect invoice, okay, or should not be treated as right invoice. Now point is that when you are checking first condition, that is invoice should be there, bill of entry should be there, at that time you just need to ensure, suppose invoice number in the books invoice number is D9, but in the GSTN common portal when you are going to reconciling, the invoice number is 202324/09, okay, but client has put the entry as D9. But when you will check the reconciliation, because you also have limitations, you have the tool related to reconciliation, or client is providing the tool related to reconciliations, but they are not providing any data related to mismatch in the dates. But अगर आप यहां पर उस क्लाइंट को सजेस्ट नहीं करोगे दैट यू आर नॉट पुटिंग द करेक्ट इनवॉइस नंबर इन योर बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट्स, इन दैट केस योर इनपुट विल नॉट बी अलाउड इट, or you will be not eligible to claim the input tax credit, because this is the violation of section 16 subsection 2. मैं आपको ये नहीं कह रहा हूं कि इसके बेसिस पे आपको कोई इनपुट इनएलिजिबल करवानी है, बट यू जस्ट नीड टू गिव दिस पर्टिकुलर टाइप ऑफ थॉट्स टू योर क्लाइंट, टू योर that is taxpayer, that you should not do these type of mistakes. Whatever will be the invoice number which is there on the GSTN 2B common portal, the same invoice number should be there in your books of accounts. There should not be any type of mismatch. That is what is the thing we need to convey to our taxpayer. यहां पर केवल ये मतलब नहीं है कि मेरी इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट जीएसटीआर 2B से मैच हो गई, इन दैट केस आई एम एलिजिबल टू क्लेम द इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट. देयर आर आल्सो पर्पसेस फ्रॉम द इंटरनल कंट्रोल, फ्रॉम द कंप्लायंस, ओके. सो from now onwards, this is my humble submission to you, whenever you are going to check the reconciliations, at that time you just need to ensure that the input tax credit will be eligible, your invoice number should be same as per the GSTR 2B and as per the books of accounts, and in maximum number of cases you will find out mismatch in the invoice number. Okay, so this is also an important para which you need to provide. खाली पैरा हमारे जो जनरेट होते हैं, अभी जो बिजनेस ऑडिट हो रही है, they are going to generate the paras or they are going to raise the paras only on account of revenue leakages. But there is not only one purpose of this business audit to find out the revenue leakages, there is also a lot of purposes behind that. Next, to claim the input tax credit, there is requirement that you have, that means taxpayer has received the goods or services. Okay, now I just want to one example, and with that example I just want to clarify this situation. Now there is requirement to claim the input tax credit which is there, that taxpayer has received the goods. Okay, now जो भी हम लोग कंडीशन डिस्कस कर रहे हैं, these all are the mandatory conditions. Okay, इनमें से अगर एक भी फुलफिल नहीं होती है, in that case taxpayer will not be eligible to claim the input tax credit. Now point is that taxpayer has received the goods. Suppose when you will check the purchase register, at the time of checking of the purchase register, because nowadays we are checking the purchase register, and through that, suppose there is any purchase on the 30th April and the taxpayer is in Rajasthan and taxpayer has bought that goods from the Maharashtra. In that case, you are going to check that this goods from Maharashtra to Rajasthan, it is impossible to receive that particular goods within one day from the Maharashtra to Rajasthan, or without receiving that particular goods, client will not be eligible to claim the input tax credit. That is what is the point. Okay, now Suppose client has, but when client will check the GSTR to be written, at that time the input will be shown in the April month. Although goods has not been received by the client because duri, okay, distance. Now, suppose client has claimed the input tax credit on the basis of reflection of invoices in the GSTR to be written on 30th April, and at the time of business audit, when you will check that particular purchase register, you should also carefully examine the last day, month last day purchase or second last day purchase very carefully from the receiving of goods perspective, because if the client has not received the goods and client has claimed the input tax credit, in that case you need to say that you have wrongly claimed the input tax credit, so you need to reverse that input tax credit because you was not eligible to claim the same in April month. You will be eligible to claim the same in May month. But to claim the input tax credit in May month has already been lapsed as per the section 16 subsection 4 ki timeline. So now you will not be eligible to claim the input tax credit. That is what is the important things. That is what is the important thing which is there. Okay. So if someone has claimed the input tax credit without receiving the goods, in that case, this input will not be available to that particular person. But when we are reconciling the input tax credit from the GSTR to be portal, in that case, we are not checking the date. Okay. Suppose on GSTR 2B, the invoice is reflected on 30th of April. But if client has put the entry on 27th of April in the books of account, so that if you will check the purchase register, in that case you will satisfy yourself that client has already received the goods and input will be allowable. And when you will reconcile the GSTR2B portal, GSTR2B and the books input tax credit will already reconcile. There is no issue with that. But actually, when you will check the mismatch on account of date, in that case you will find out if there will be any mismatch on that account. You can easily find out that the invoice date is 20th 30th April and client taxpayer should book that input tax credit in the books of accounts as on 30th April, and when that entry will be done on 30th April, in that situation taxpayer will not be eligible to claim the input tax credit in the April month. Only reconciliation हो गया. That is what is not the purpose of our reconciliation of input. We just need to reconcile the invoice date and invoice number. I suppose this invoice date is okay for everyone. आपको importance समझ आया होगा. If you got that specific point, or if you get that specific point related to the date mismatch and the importance and the effect of this date mismatch, in that case just communicate the same in the chat box. Nihal ji, can you please share with me the relevant period? And तब तक I just expect reply from each and everyone that this invoice date वाला concept is okay for you and the importance of invoice date is okay for you. Now, first condition, invoice should be there. Goods has already been received by the taxpayer. Next, third condition, input is reflected in GSTR to be written. Your input should be reflected in GSTR to be written. If the input is not reflected in the GSTR to be written, in that case, this input will not be allowed to you. Now, here, when you will take that particular case for the audit purposes, business audit purposes, in that case, you are going to check the cumulative input tax credit for the whole year. Am I right? You are going to check, suppose for the financial year 22-23. Okay, and when you will check that reconciliation, in that case, always if any input tax credit which is related to April month is reflected in the May month, in that case the same will be reconciled for the whole period. But in that also case, suppose if there will be any input tax credit which is related to April 2023 but not reflected in the April 2022 month. Okay, sorry. This input is related to April 2022 and the same is not reflected in 2022 in the GSTR to be written, but the same is reflected in May 2022. In that case, the eligibility to claim input tax credit will be in the May month. Now, point is that taxpayer has claimed the input tax credit. Taxpayer has claimed the input tax credit in April month. Taxpayer has claimed the input tax credit in the April month and the input will be reflected in May month. Now, taxpayer has do one thing, taxpayer has paid the interest at the rate of 18%. उसने बोला कि मेरी eligibility May में आनी है, but I had claimed the same in the April month, so I am going to make the payment of the interest at the rate of 18%. Is that correct? No, because in April month, when the taxpayer claimed the input tax credit, taxpayer was not eligible to claim that input tax credit in April month. So the correct treatment was taxpayer has to reverse the input tax credit in the April month, or taxpayer has to reverse the input tax credit in the May month and then after again claim that input tax credit in the May month when the same is reflected in the GSTR to be returned. Because without the reflection of input tax credit in the GSTR to be returned, the client, the customer, the taxpayer will not be eligible to claim that input tax credit. But if the taxpayer has claimed the input tax credit, in that case that person have to reverse the same in the next month, and when reflection in the next month, that taxpayer has to claim the same. Okay, now suppose during the business audit, departmental authority has found this specific case that taxpayer has claimed the input tax credit in April month, but the input was reflected in May month. Okay, at that time, you need to say to that person that, sir, when you have claimed that input tax credit in April month, at that time the input was not available in the GSTR to be written, so you was ineligible. Okay, you need to reverse the input tax credit in May month and then after again you need to claim. तो टैक्स पेयर बोलेगा सर रिवर्स और क्लेम, मुझे इंटरेस्ट पे करना है, आई एम रेडी टू पे इंटरेस्ट एट द रेट ऑफ 18%. इन दैट केस योर आर्ग्यू दैट सर you are not eligible to do so because related to April month you were ineligible, so you need to reverse the same now. एंड जो मई मंथ में इनपुट आप क्लेम करने के लिए एलिजिबल थे, उसको क्लेम करने की टाइमलाइन एज पर सेक्शन 16 सबसेक्शन 4 हैज ऑलरेडी बीन लैप्स्ड. So taxpayer has to reverse the input tax credit and taxpayer will not be eligible to claim the same in May month because the timeline of section 16 subsection 4 has already been lapsed. Because I suppose you are going to take the case in business audit after 1 year, 2 year from the relevant period. So the timeline of section 16 subsection 4 has already been lapsed. That is what is the logic which is there. So टॉपिक बहुत छोटा सा है रिलेटेड टू इनपुट रिकंसिलेशन, बट द इफेक्ट ऑफ दिस पर्टिकुलर टॉपिक इज वेरी मच यूज. Okay, so the first point is invoice date, invoice number and the reflection in GSTR to be written. Now Mahadev ji is asking that please repeat that invoice date wala concept. So just try to understand that, sir, suppose in the GSTR to be written the invoice date is 30th April and the goods is received from Maharashtra and the taxpayer is registered in Rajasthan. Okay, now it is not possible to receive the goods in one day from Maharashtra to Rajasthan. But suppose if the client has make the entry in the purchase register on 27th of April, in that case for that specific receiving of goods purposes you are just going to check the purchase register, or when you will check that purchase register you will find out that purchase will be on 27th of April, and when you will check the reconciliation your April month reconciliation will be done because the same is reflected in the same month. But as per the section number 16 subsection 2 की condition, the client has not received the goods, so input will not be allowed. So when you will compare the invoice date from the GSTR to be portal, in that case you will find out that there is mismatch, and on account of that mismatch you can easily find out the ineligibility of input tax credit. That is what is the point which I want to say. Now there is no any other tool is available in the market. In that case you can compare the invoice date, invoice number, invoice value. Okay, or you also not eligible to check the internal control of that particular entity. You just can compare the reconciliation between the input and you are going to do the same. But the importance of this particular thing is very high. Okay, now the first condition will be my invoice should be there to claim the input tax credit. Second condition, reflection in my GSTR to be written. Third, receipt of goods or services. Now, what do you mean by this services ki receipt? So, services will to be treated as your invoice or payment whichever is earlier. Okay, invoice or payment whichever is earlier, that will be treated as my supply of services. If the client has prepared the invoices or paid the amount in advance, in that case the time of supply will be decided according to the invoice or payment whichever is earlier. That is what is the point. Okay, so in that case also you need to compare the date of entry in the books of accounts and the date of entry is showing in the GSTR to be written, so that you can easily identify the things. Is that okay, Mahadev ji? Your question related to date is okay for you? Now, next condition, supplier has paid the taxes, and the last condition, filed the return. After fulfilling all these type of conditions, the taxpayer will be eligible to claim the input tax credit. And in all these type of conditions, the most crucial condition from the input reconciliation is your invoice date, invoice value, invoice number, and the reflection in GSTR to be written on the correct date, on the correct month. That is what is the point which is there. Okay, so when we'll do the reconciliation of input tax credit, in that case we just need to prepare the reconciliations from the invoice number perspective, invoice date perspective, invoice value perspective. You are not in party and not in portal perspective. Kai bar, many times we found certain entries which is there on the GSTR to be portal but not in the books of accounts of the client. In that case also we need to confirm from the client that this is your purchase or not, or why you have not booked the same in your books of accounts. And also we can check the same from the previous month related transactions. And एक और important बात I just want to share, that when you will check the reconciliation of this input tax credit or when you will analyze the GSTR to be written, in that case you can easily identify the complete internal control, the complete fake invoicing as well. There is certain paper transactions, in that case you can also check that paper transactions, because the focus of government is on to reduce the paper invoicing, reduce the fake transactions, and check the internal control of that particular entity. Because very near GSTN Council has also announced that we also need to more focus on the internal control, on the compliance check. Okay, now entry of wrong invoice date का क्या effect होगा? We had already covered what is the effect of that in wrong invoice date. Invoice number is also a very important key to identify the things. Okay, or when you will check the refund application, suppose some client has taken the refund on account of inverted duty structure or on account of export without payment of tax. In that case also you need to confirm and verify the complete GSTR to be written of that particular taxpayer. And while doing that analysis of that particular refund application, in that case also you need to carefully examine the invoice date, invoice value, invoice number. Also, when you will conduct that business audit, at that time the party wise purchase plays a very important role. Sir, what is the role of this? Because Suppose during a particular financial year, if the client has bought maximum amount of purchase from one customer, okay, or one client or one supplier, in that case you just need to check the invoices of that particular supplier. कहीं ऐसा तो नहीं है there is a involvement of paper transactions, there is a involvement of fake invoicing, कोई गुड्स आया ही नहीं है और पेपर ट्रांजेक्शंस हो गए, हाउ यू कैन आइडेंटिफाई? सो फॉर दैट पर्पस द ह्यूज क्वांटम ऑफ परचेज फ्रॉम अ सिंगल पर्सन you need to identify and you need to check the genuineness so that you can check the data, you can check the things. Okay, so for that purpose when you will check the GSTR to be written, at that time you also do the purchaser wise analysis, that means the supplier wise analysis, the biggest party or the biggest transactions you need to check. The number of transactions, quantum of transaction is also plays a very important role. If there is a huge number of transactions with a single party, in that case you need to focus on the invoicing, the invoice number, invoice date, the particulars, the other things which is there. Okay, so these plays a very important role. Now when you will check the purchase, at that time you also need to compare the same with the closing stock so that you can easily identify the genuineness of the client. Because when you are going to initiate that business audit, or if you will satisfy yourself about the genuineness of the customer, in that case your audit process will be very much easy. Nowadays when tax authorities are handling the audit, in that case we found that audit will not be completed for 3 month, 2 month, 4 month, 5 month. Okay, but if we have certain efficient tool, if we have certain efficient techniques, in that case we can easily complete our audit within couple of days. Okay, now your inventory, you just need to demand the party wise inventory list from the customer, party wise inventory list. Or when you will check that party wise inventory list from the party wise purchase, you just need to compare the ratio, or you can also demand this ratio from the taxpayer. You need to check what amount of purchases made from a particular party and what type of inventory is there in the inventory register of that particular client, so that you can easily identify the ratio between the inventory and purchase. Or the important thing is there, only the ratio of purchase and inventory is not so important, but the things which is there in the inventory and the things which is there in the purchase is very much important. So we need to do all these things from that particular perspective. So I suppose this section number 16 subsection 2 plays a very important role. Your input tax credit ka reconciliation from the invoice date, invoice value, and the invoice and the party ledger and the purchase party wise analysis plays a very important role. यहाँ तक अगर सब कुछ ओके है सबके लिए, in that case I just expect reply from each and everyone that all these concept is okay for you related to section number 16 subsection 2, so that we can start our discussion on a specific AI tool for the reconciliations. I just expect reply from each and everyone. Are you enjoying the session? Also, if possible, then if you are enjoying, then comment in the chat box that we are enjoying. Now, for departmental authorities, for GST officers, for GST staff, okay, we have developed one tool, one AI tool, through that they can easily analyze the complete input tax credit and prepare their results. Okay, so जिस काम को करने में 15 से 20 दिन लग जाते हैं, they can do this that particular thing within half an hour. Okay, so I am just going to disclose that particular AI tool. There is no any type of advertisement is there. Okay, just point is that we have developed this tool and we have installed this tool to around more than 500 peoples को हम लोगों ने ये वाला टूल दिया है and they are completely satisfied with that particular tool. So we are just going to, and they are saying that sir please provide these type of tools. So I am going to share with you this specific information because I have received couple of queries from multiple tax authorities that we are very confusing while doing that particular analysis of GSTR 2B input tax credit and books of accounts, how we can do this. Okay, so this is the tool in front of you. This is the AI tool, this is the AI technique through that you can easily prepare the reconciliation and the analysis, and this is specifically designed for the GST officers and the staff. Okay, we'll also discuss on the ratio, but first we'll discuss about that particular tool and then after we'll discuss on that. And I just also request everyone, if you have any question, if you have any doubt, in that case just comment in the chat box. So just concentrate on the functioning of this tool. I just want to share with you the functioning of the tools, the data, the reports which is there in this specific tool. So through the particular AI tool, first you just need to get the visual reconciliations. Okay, so what you need to do, you just need to do one thing. You just need to get the two things from the client. First, GSTR2B from the party generated GSTR2B, or the GSTR2B which is generated from the GSTN common portal. GSTN common portal generated GSTR2B return is with you, there is no problem. And party generated GSTR2B file you need to take Excel, एंड यू जस्ट नीड टू पुट दैट एक्सेल फाइल इन योर सिस्टम. और जैसे ही उस लोकेशन पे आप उस फाइल को रखोगे, दिस टूल विल ऑटोमेटिकली प्रिपेयर द रिपोर्ट. ओके, सो दिस इज द रिपोर्ट. In this particular report, for you just need to select the time period. Okay, suppose you are analyzing the data of your client or the data of the taxpayer for a particular financial year 22-23. You just need to select the financial year over there, that this is my financial year, and this particular tool will automatically prepare the report. Here are the specific keys are there. If you want to check the invoice date mismatch, and also this is my suggestion to you, this is the first tool in the industry which is providing you the detail about the invoice date mismatch, the value mismatch, the number mismatch, all those things, and with related reports. So just focus on that. If you find out that invoice date mismatch, you just need to click over there. You will find out the invoice date mismatch. Your invoice date is 1st May 2023, but as per the GSTN common portal, date is 18th April 2023. So from that you can easily identify the invoice date mismatch. And अगर आपने एक बार invoice date mismatch को find out कर लिया, you can easily analyze the purchase register, you can easily analyze the books of accounts, you can easily analyze the eligibility of the input tax credit. Also you can select one tab that we want to identify the invoice number mismatch. In this specific date there is no any specific invoice number mismatch is there. Okay, so this will not showing here. If there will be any invoice number mismatch, the same will be here. Okay, if there will be invoice value mismatch, in that case you just need to select here, your invoice value mismatch will be shown. If there will be any match invoices are there, in that case you will find out the match related invoices. If you found out certain invoices which is not available on the GSTN common portal, that means client has claimed the input tax credit without the eligibility, without the invoices reflected in the GSTR2B. In that case you can easily find out this particular thing. And most important thing, you can easily download these things in Excel from this particular AI tool. Now if you find out certain invoices which is available on GSTN common portal but not claimed by the particular party, in that case also you need to select here, that particular type of invoices will be there. So through that you can easily, and also if you find out the tax mismatch, tax amount में कोई mismatch है क्या, in that case you can also find out easily the tax amount mismatch. Okay, so that is what is the thing which is there from that particular tool. You can easily find out, that means there are total 6 parameter are there. You can check the invoice date mismatch, invoice value mismatch, invoice number mismatch, not in party, not in 2A, all those things you can easily check. Okay, or you can insert multiple files, or there is no any techniques are there. You just need to download the GSTR to be written from the portal, you just need to take the GSTR to be software generated from the client and put the same in your software, and you can generate the report, and you can generate these type of reports for n number of taxpayers. मतलब जितनी भी आपके पास में बिजनेस ऑडिट आती है, you can easily generate the file and you can easily check the data. Okay, also this is the one thing. Now there is certain panel is there. First panel is reconciliation. Now in your consolidated update, if you want to know the consolidated amount of input tax credit which is eligible, so you can get this figure from the analysis of this table, and this will be automatically done by the table. There is no any manual efforts. This is the eligible input tax credit which is there for the taxpayer, and you can check the same from the GSTR 3B return. And this is the ineligible input tax credit for the particular taxpayer. You can easily check the ineligible ITC as well. So invoice date भी आप यहाँ पर check कर पाओगे. You can easily check the invoice number, invoice value. Also, if you want to do the analysis of party wise, in that case this feature is also available. You just need to check from whom the particular taxpayer has bought the maximum goods. Okay, you can also check the quantum, so that you can easily check the paper invoicing, the fake transactions. And suppose this is the jet fabrics from whom the taxpayer had bought the maximum number of purchases, and you want to check the all invoices, you just need to click on jet fab. All the invoices related to jet fab will be there, and you can easily check each and every invoices, and you can check the genuineness of that particular transaction. If you want to check the invoices of MK agency, you just need to click on MK agencies. All those invoices which is there from the MK agency will be there. Okay, if you want to check the party data, in that case also, if you want to check the invoices of jetfab from the party, you just need to click on jetfab. All the invoices related to that particular jetfab is there, so that you can easily analyze the party, the biggest supplier, and you can check the fake invoicing, you can check the paper transactions, you can check the multiple number of transactions. Now the most important, because this complete AI tool is completely on the focus of the GSTN Council guidelines, that is internal control. Now if you want to check in one shot the data of that particular taxpayer, आपको ये इंश्योर करना है कि उस क्लाइंट का डेटा कैसा है. जैसे ही आप उस क्लाइंट के GSTR 2B और बुक्स के GSTR 2B को रखोगे, this report will automatically generated, and through this particular dot wise analysis you can easily check if there will be any invoice date mismatch, match not in portal, and tax mismatch. So here most of the columns are in blue. That means this client has the perfect data, because this client is doing the right business, so there are all the things are matched. Agar if there is more dots of this light blue, in that case this is an indication that there is a mistake in the data entry, or there is more volume of the invoice date mismatch. If there is any red type of entries, in that case this input will not be available in the GSTR to be. Suppose here red icon is there, so you can easily take that this Akshay polypack is not available, there is a text mismatch. Okay, so all these things are there on this particular dot, so that you can easily analyze the basic situation, the internal control of that particular business entity. So you can use this particular IT tool. I just want to implement this tool in maximum to maximum departmental authorities, so that they can easily use that particular type of tool in their business. Okay, and this is unlimited, और कितनी ही फाइलें, कितनी ही टैक्सपेयर का मैं इसमें डेटा चेक कर सकता हूं. जस्ट पॉइंट इज दैट दिस विल बी अलॉटेड टू वन ऑफिसर, वन टूल. ओके, दैट इज व्हाट इज द थिंग. देयर इज नो एनी ह्यूज कोस्ट इज देयर. वी आर जस्ट गोइंग टू प्रोवाइड दिस टूल on our cost. जितने पे हमको कोस्टिंग में पड़ा है, we are going to provide this tool to tax officer and tax authorities at cost only. That is what is the purpose, to promote this tool to maximum number of departmental authorities. Or the functioning is that you just need to go to the D drive. In your D drive, whatever will be your system, you just need to create one data folder, and portal के अंदर आपको GSTR to be portal generated रखना है, and you just need to put the books data received from the client in the record, and you just need to come on this particular tool. All the complete reconciliation will be there. You can easily analyze the complete purchase of the particular client, because this is the most important technique or thing to verify to the genuineness of purchase, and through this particular tool you can easily verify the genuineness. Okay, so this is specifically designed for the GST officers. There is no any publicity is there, because we are going to provide this tool at a cost only. There is no any profit margin is there. We are going to provide this tool at 4,000 rupees. But if you are going to buy this tool on today, in that case there is a 25% off. You will get this tool in 3,000 only. Okay, and this is unlimited. कितने ही टाइम के लिए आप यूज कर सकते हो, कितनी ही पार्टी के डेटा एनालिसिस कर सकते हो. दिस इज जस्ट अवर costing. Now, if you have any question, you may ask, as there is certain questions. If you are interested, then just comment me, will provide you the link to buy this particular tool. Okay, and I suppose once you all should buy this particular type of tool, because this is a guaranteed tool. If you will not satisfy, will return back this tool. Or this is unlimited access, or you can check unlimited files, and you can analyze unlimited data through this particular tool as well, and complete support will be there. Now, no, Sandeep ji, if taxpayer is going to pay the taxes or after November month, in that case the taxpayer will not be eligible to claim the input tax credit, because this is after the timeline of section 16 subsection 4. If anyone interested to buy this particular tool, in that case this price, that is 25% off, is just for today. Okay, you can use this tool. And if you want to buy, in that case there is a specific contact detail. You just need to WhatsApp on this number. Complete installation will be done by our team. So 9460236167, इस नंबर पे आपको एक व्हाट्सएप करना है. दे विल शेयर विथ यू द लिंक टू बाय दिस स्पेसिफिक टूल. ओके, एंड आई सपोज यू ऑल शुड गो विद दिस पर्टिकुलर टूल, बिकॉज दिस इज नॉट माय डेवलपमेंट, दिस इज द डेवलपमेंट ऑफ इंजीनियर. एंड जब मैंने इस टूल को यूज किया, आई एम कंप्लीटली सेटिस्फाइड विद दिस स्पेसिफिक टूल फॉर द इनपुट रिकंसिलेशन. और इसके थ्रू मैंने कई सारी बिजनेस ऑडिट में इसको यूज लेकर के देखा है. The complete data presentation, the complete data preparation is also very much easy, and quite interested reports are there. Okay, and I had also verified the complete online portal. I have not found this type of that is IT tool which is there in the market. Okay, and this is not in market. That is what is the point. This is specifically for the GST officers and staff, and this is, yes, the complete tutorial of this particular tool is available on the YouTube channel. And when you will buy this particular tool, in that case you will get complete guide how to use this particular tool. And also our staff will call you, and complete installation procedure will be done by our staff only. Okay, for the GST officers and staff. So this is a specific tool which is there. And if you want to buy, I just request that buy it by today itself, because we need to close the discount offer which is only for the GST officers and the staff. So today you can buy this tool at 3,000 only. I will also share with you the direct link to buy this specific tool. I have also shared the link to buy this specific tool, but before my, just text over that 94602 36167, so that our team will share with you the relevant discount code, although the discount code is BATUK 25. So when you will analyze the purchase and the stock, जो जो इस टूल को बाय करना चाहते हैं, जस्ट वंस कमेंट मी इन द चैट बॉक्स, सो दैट वी कैन गेट द आइडिया अबाउट द नंबर ऑफ buyers on today. So always there is a linkage between the purchase and inventory. Suppose from messrs XYZ Limited, I had bought a specific goods about 5 crore rupees. Okay, during the particular relevant financial year. And when will check my inventory, when I will check my inventory, when I will check my inventory, in that case I need to demand the inventory register from party wise. This is also generated. Okay, so suppose when you will check the inventory, you just need to identify the closing stock, the identify the closing stock on account of that XYZ Limited. You just need to identify the closing stock from that XYZ Limited. So suppose if there is any 3 crore is there, 2 crore is there, 4 crore is there, in that case you also need to check the manufacturing process. Okay, when you will check the manufacturing process or the trading process, through that you need to analyze that what type of consumption is there, or the closing stock which is there with the name of Messrs XYZ Limited is correct or not. Okay, because कहीं ऐसा तो नहीं है केवल इनकम टैक्स में प्रॉफिट को एडजस्ट करने के लिए यहाँ पर क्लोजिंग स्टॉक इज देयर, बट इन जेन्युइन देयर इज नो एनी क्लोजिंग स्टॉक इज देयर. So you can easily verify the same from this IT tool as well. You just need to go to the combined portal and you just need to check the party and you just need to check the invoices, and these type of invoices you just need to compare with the inventory register, party wise inventory register, so that you can easily identify the things. That is what is the point which I want to share with you. If there will be any high sea sales and if there will be any freight over there, in that case there will be no any RCM applicable, because when the principal supply will not be taxable, at that time the subordinate supply will also not be taxable. That is what is the point. So I have already shared the link to buy this specific tool, and the discount code is also already been shared with you. Most probably आज 2 बजे तक ही ये वाला डिस्काउंट कूपन जो है काम करेगा फॉर द जीएसटी ऑफिसर्स एंड जीएसटी ऑथोरिटीज. सो इफ यू वांट टू बाय दिस देन प्लीज put your order or place your order by 2 p.m. Okay, so that you can get the benefit of this 1000 rupees. So I suppose there is no any question is pending. This is our discussion on section number 16 subsection 2. When you want to check the eligibility of input tax credit, at that time you just need to verify the genuineness of the transactions through the invoice number, through the invoice date, through the invoice value, through the quantum of the purchase, through the analysis of the purchase from a single party or purchase from multiple parties. That is what is the thing we had covered in this specific tool. With that we had discussed on certain ratios, that is stock and inventory ka ratio. That is what is the complete discussion from my side, and at the last I just want your valuable feedback on this specific session in the chat box. So I request everyone, whatever will be your feedback for the session, just provide in the chat box. And if you want to buy this particular tool, you just need to text over 94602366167. I am expecting reply from each and everyone related to the feedback. And Nihalji, when you will buy this particular tool, in that case, you will receive the complete video for the installation. Also, our team will install this particular, and you will also receive the complete guide as well. So I just expect your valuable feedback in the chat box. If recipient is in India, in that case RCM will be applicable and input tax credit can be claimed on part of that reverse charge mechanism. I again request, if you want to buy this specific tool, then buy this tool by 2 p.m. Okay, because I'm again requesting, there is only one purpose is there, because there is no any use cost is there. This is just for 3000 rupees, and if you are going to buy this particular tool, in that case your audit compliances will be very much easy. I'm just going to share, because once you will use will tool, you will find out the multiple benefits through this specific tool. Your audit can be completed within 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 days, or you can easily analyze the revenue leakages, you can easily analyze the other things which is there, you can easily analyze the defaults, you can easily analyze the compliance related issues, you can easily analyze the things which is very much important in the business audit. Okay, that is what is the perspective. Hence I am repeating, because we are taking multiple sessions of the multiple GST officers, and when they have used this specific tool, we have received a very good feedback. Hence we are coming with this specific tool online for you. Okay, so that you can buy it easily. But if you are planning, then please buy it by today, because from tomorrow on, because this is not my tool, I have already shared with you, because from tomorrow onwards they are going to release this tool for others as well. So this is my request to you. If you want to buy, this is a specific request by myself to the team, that we need to provide this tool at a discounted price for the GST officers and staff. So thank you everyone for listening this particular video, listening this webinar, joining on this Sunday morning. Sunday को morning में आपने जो है अपना time दिया. So thank you everyone, and plan for this Excel tool, this IT tool, this AI tool. You will definitely enjoy it, and you will definitely, this tool will be very much helpful for you. Thank you everyone. We'll meet you soon in any other webinar, in any other seminar, and we are planning every Sunday and a specific session for the GST officers. Okay, free specific session. So, we'll meet you soon with a new topic on next Sunday. Okay, so stay connected, and we are very soon, we are going to release the daily newsletter for the GST officers and the tax professionals. So, very soon we are coming with that as well. So, thank you everyone for your help, and we'll meet you soon in next video. Thank you. Bye bye.